This is Books and Tickets, and we are delighted to be joined for the first time in 2025 with the G Train. Graham McCormack, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm just going to cut straight into the chase. Harry
Yeah.
Maguire, me and you done an interview in the past. You want the Harry Maguire, right? He was gone. Kieran McGaver has sent me a video clip. He hasn't put it online yet, but just want to get your thoughts on Harry Maguire because he saved our season.
Listen, that was reverse psychology that I done back then, yeah? We dissed him back then, or dissed him, but I knew it was going to work the way it's after working. And now look at him. You know what I mean? Scoring goals. You know what I mean? That's because my reverse psychology worked, you know?
That
I
was
knew what I was doing, playing the game, you know?
I was going to say that was probably the worst game of football I've ever watched in a long time. Like, you know, for us to be them to get down to 10 men, then for them to score twice, us 4-2 behind. And then like the last 7 minutes of that game, I think like
It was
I was ready
unbelievable.
for the bridge at one stage.
It was unbelievable, man. My friend has season cup tickets, and he gave them to his friend, and he rang me and said, "Man, my mate left at 4-2, like." Do you know what I mean? So it's
There
mad.
was a commentary team in the background. They were saying that everybody was leaving, and then there
Yeah.
was like there's a stampede to get back. And like, when would you ever have a stampede to get back on the Old Trafford?
Well, that's it, like, you know what I mean? I'd say the people that left were just absolutely disgusted after they left, like. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine leaving the atmosphere there, like, because when we went over there, we won 3-1, but we were losing going into 75 minutes, like. But when United scored, the atmosphere was unbelievable. And that was only a normal Premier League game, like, so I can't, like, the atmosphere just looked unbelievable on the TV, you know, so I can't imagine what it was. Steve, look, stop talking.
The I like it's the same. Like, you know, you leave the ground for whatever reasons, whether it's teams performing bad or whatever. But there's nothing worse than going down the steps. I remember being at a United game. It was the early days. Graham, I'm going back like 91, 92. I think it was the last game
Yeah.
of the season. I think it was 91 season, the last game of the season, the Spurs. And I think we left. We were 3-1 up. I think it was the last couple of minutes. I thought, we'll leave and go down early. And obviously, you can down the steps and hear that roar, and you're thinking to yourself, going, is it a good roar or is it a bad roar? When obviously people heard them back to 4-3, like people are probably having heart attacks to get back up the stairs again.
Yeah, yeah. Like I would have been gutted if I'd left and that was you know what I mean? And you found out that was the result that we actually ended up with. You know what I mean?
You imagine someday it's, the dinosaur out there doesn't do social media and they sort of walked and they put headphones at, well, obviously if they're a dinosaur and they don't do social media, but somebody walked away, and obviously not realizing, and then somebody says to them, oh, Bilbao next on the cup, and they're going, what are you on about? Sure, we're out. It's until they seen the paper the next day. But there is dinosaurs out there, maybe might have left the ground and not realize what was going on.
Oh yeah, till they got home, like definitely. Definitely 100%.
So Harry Maguire for Prime Minister then, is that what you're saying?
Harry Maguire's gonna win us the Europa League.
Imagine a bicycle kick in the final to beat either Spurs or Bobo Glimp. Uh,
I think the next game, I think if we win the next game, we'll win it out. I'll be honest. I genuinely do. I think if we can beat thing on Thursday and next week, then I think we'll win. But I think this is a tough game Thursday, you know?
it's a dress rehearsal for the final because the final's in the same ground as well.
Yeah.
So it is. So it could either be a good luck woman or a bad luck woman. Um, I guess obviously cutting into it, obviously we're a couple of weeks out now from probably I guess a fight that sort of came from nowhere. Obviously after your career best performance, one over Craig McCarthy in Waterford, which he said you were going to stop and everything else. You were going won an Irish title, be happy to buy out an Irish title with a win, lose or draw. Probably a
Mm.
bigger fight in some magnitudes come about because, well, it's probably in level terms. The British Boxing Board Celtic title is similar to an Irish title because they're both 10 round fights. The old school way they both get you ranked in Europe and things like that. So
Yeah.
similar level of fight for you.
Yeah, look, I mean, like, it's a huge fight for me, but huge, huge fight for me, you know, and I've taken that approach, and it's a huge fight. You know what I mean? I still want an Irish title, of course, you know what I mean? But just this fight popped up. You know what I mean, Steve? Look, everyone knows me at this stage. Like, I want to be in the best fights I can be in. So when I look back at my career, I can say I went out and had the best fights I could possibly have. I didn't take this fight for the sake of, I want a few quid or anything. I am 150% confident I go over here and do a job on Darren Johnstone in 2 weeks and pick up a new title, you know what I mean? And it's a big opportunity. It's a big fight, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not getting younger, so these opportunities aren't going to come all the time. So, like, I'm on good form, and I'm really looking forward to this fight. I'm very, very excited about it, but to be honest, so really excited, and I'm looking forward to it.
Was I guess the problem sort of, it was, I guess, with the landscape of obviously Irish boxing, sometimes, obviously Daniel Sullivan won the Celtic belt, then won the middleweight belt there, obviously against Peter Carr. You Craig
Yeah,
O'Brien there and sort of as well. Like, was the problem you sort of had to get an Irish title fight was because you've Ian Gaughran as a manager, but obviously Ian Gaughran can only go with what's available on cards. So it was getting you
yeah.
the right opportunity and the right card. And the unfortunate thing is the first sort of 4 months of this year, we've been sort of waiting for cards and everybody's sort of queuing up in the line waiting for fights.
Yeah, but that's it, Budge. I mean, like you hit the nail on the head there. Like we're at a time, especially for me and my girls, I can't wait forever for fights, man. Do you know what I mean? Because, like we just said, I'm not getting any younger. You know what I mean? No, I feel absolutely brilliant in the gym. I feel rejuvenated. I feel really, I feel. I'm not just saying. I feel really, really good. I look great. My weight is good. Mentally, I feel great. So, like, but I don't have forever to hang around for fights. You know what I mean? I can't be going 7, 8 months in the year not having a fight. You know what I mean? It's not 5 years ago, like So that's just Ian came on to me. This fight was actually offered us last year, but we were in camp for another fight. And we said no, we didn't turn it down because we don't want to fight him. We turned it down because we were in camp for another fight. But like I was very interested in that fight. I've been interested in that fight. He's a good fighter. I'm not burying my head in the sand. He's actually got a win over a fighter that has beaten me. You know what I mean? So we know how good he is. We've had a very, very good look at him, me and Shaun. And the fight came to me. Ian put the fight to me. I was like, yeah, it's a very interesting fight. So, I mean, I'm very interested in it. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I said, the other side again. Do I want to go back down to middleweight? I don't know. I'm very comfortable at super middleweight. You know what I mean? I don't have to kill myself to make weight. You know what I mean? No, I was very chunky in the last fight, but like I took a lot of time off. Like I was only talking to my nutritionist 2 weeks ago. Like I forgot. Like 4 weeks for the Craig McCarthy fight, I was in fucking Lapland for 4 days. Like so, I really eating pizza and chocolate. Like because we had that book for ages. Like I wasn't going to cancel my Lapland holiday. Like and not go. Like so, I just went over and think. So like this camp, I've been really dialed in, really tuned in, especially on my diet, man. And I think people will see that next in 2 weeks when I get on the scales. But I feel really good, man, and I'm looking forward to getting over here. And I'm very, very, very confident I'll win another title over here, but I don't think there's anything that he can do that will out trump me on the night.
Is it confidence, sort of, I guess, in some ways? It's a confidence. Obviously, you said last time that you're going to stop Craig. You done it like it was vintage. Graham McCormack. It probably, as you said, it was your best performance to date, your best win to date. But like, it can be so easy, sort of. You have the confidence there, and you can back it up now. And you're saying I'm going to stop him. If people's going, no, he's not going to stop him. Well, I stopped my last opponent. So what's to stop you from stopping Darren Johnstone as well?
100%, but listen, like it's confidence. It's also belief in myself and knowing how good I actually am. I said this for years, man. I know how good I can be, but I know how good I actually am. Like people don't like. I'm a very, very good boxer. I can fight on the inside. I'm tough as all boots. You know what I mean? I think people look at my two fights that I had last year, the draw I had with the journeyman and losing to Liddard in the first round, and look at me like, oh man, he's finished or whatever. But like, I'll be straight up honest, man. Like I had one foot in the door and one foot out the door boxing at the time. No one's fault but my own. We had a lot of stuff going on in outside life, me and my wife and our family, a lot of stuff going on. And it was just like, as hard as you want to portray yourself, subconsciously that stuff still goes on in your mind, you know what I mean? And with a lot of stuff going on now, and it was just, obviously, had gotten to me mentally, and I wasn't putting in the best versions of myself in training that I could have been, you know what I mean? I was burning the candle at both ends. I wasn't resting. I wasn't recovering. I was trying to outtrain a bad diet and just loads of stuff going on that I had outside of boxing. And I just wasn't focused on boxing, man. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm not taking anything away from George Liddard and saying, oh, that's why I lost. Kid's a fucking phenomenal fighter. He was way better than me. You know what I mean? That's another point of it. But at that time of boxing, same with the draw I had with the journeyman, you know what I mean? I just had one foot in the door, one foot out of the door with boxing. And when you're in this game, you can't afford to do that, unfortunately, man. You know what I mean? If you have one door in and if you have one half yourself in, one half out, you'll be found out on the night. You know what I mean? It will come and it will bite you in the ass on the night of fights. And unfortunately for me, that has happened to me on a couple of occasions, man. I haven't nobody has an easy life, man. And I don't say that I do. And I don't have a harder life than anybody else. But we all have stuff going on outside of life. There's other stuff going on than boxing, you know what I mean? But as of now, like we got a lot of stuff started over the last 6 to 8 months. Really, really good positive stuff. My older son is now living with me full time. And things are just completely different for me now as a person, for us as a family. And a lot of the outside problems that we had going on are not there anymore. You know what I mean? We have them sorted, like, and that's not got to do with boxing, but for me, it's a massive part of my life. So I've now been able to give a lot more focus to boxing, and a massive credit to my wife for allowing me to do that. You know what I mean? But life is a lot easier for us now, and I've been able to give a lot more time to boxing, man. I've been able to give a lot more time mentally to boxing, and it has really, really benefited me. You saw it in my last fight. I'm feeling in this camp. I'm absolutely buzzing in the gym, Steve. I'm not just saying like I'm buzzing in the gym. You know what I mean? And it's all down to just sorting out the things in the outside life and just getting 100% focused, man.
You obviously have said, and you said to me, I guess every week when we've sort of been saying the weeks to go, the fight, and you've been saying you're going to knock him out. Like, is that the only way you believe you're going to win in Glasgow? Be obviously to be stopping Darren Johnson. Is that why you have that belief in your head you're going to stop him, or just regardless, you're just going to stop him?
But I look, I boxed in Scotland before. No respect to over there. I know Paul Kean. I think I said it at the time. I said to Cameron, I had Paul Kean winning by a round or two the night of the fight, right? He did beat me on the night. I'm not going to say he didn't. They didn't give me a round over there, man. They didn't give me a round on the scorecards, right? Even Glenn McCrory was commentating. He said, that's a disgrace. McCormack should have at least got a draw. I didn't think I got a draw. I thought I lost. I thought I started too slow. So in my head now, that's going to happen again. So I have to go over here now and put on a serious, serious job over here and a demolition job over here. You know what I mean? No, I'm not going to bury my head in the sand. He's a good fighter, but I am in 100% farm, but I'm very, very focused. I'm very hungry, man. People say, oh, what have you left to fight for? I want to win more titles, man. You know what I mean? I want to do things that people said I can't do. I'm 38 years of age. I think when I win this title and I win another title, I could be the oldest man to ever win another title. You know what I mean? Or definitely the second oldest man, I think. I think there's one guy who won 139. So there's things in my head that I want to achieve, man, before I pack it in. You know what I mean? I know when my boy date is, you know what I mean? And I have a bit of time left and I'm hungry to win these things before my time is up, you know. That's the truth, man. I'm hungrier now than I have been in a very long time, bud. And I can, being around me in the gym, you'll see that like I'm absolutely flying in the gym. I'm training 2, 3 times a day again. You know what I mean? My energy levels are good. I'm really, I've kind of fallen in love with boxing again, man. And the main part is I've fallen in love with the process of it. Whereas before I was kind of dragging myself to the gym and not enjoying training and stuff like that. Whereas now, man, I'm just flying in the gym and I'm enjoying training. Like I said to last camp, we completely changed our sparring. We've one spar left next week with Kean who was a fantastic boxer. You know what I mean? So that's 4 spars in 10 weeks I'll have done. It's enough sparring, man. You know what I mean? Like I used to spar all the time and get injuries and stuff like that. Like touch wood, I'm injury free. You know what I mean? Obviously, shout out to Craig Redden for keeping me injury free, but these are small little wins that I've been gaining in this camp and the last camp that have really changed my performances, and it will change my performance in 2 weeks' time.
The cards named make or break. The defeat, they obviously did Darren Johnson. Obviously, you don't want to think about that, but the defeat, would that be the end of the road for you, Graham? Is that was probably keeping you going, because maybe one more and after you finish, you're going, well, I don't want to finish, so I'm just going to keep winning.
Look, any fight could be my last fight. No, like nobody knows the future holds. But I'll tell you one thing: I have no vision of anything else right now. Only Darren Johnson. I've no vision of losing. I've no thoughts of any of that. You know what I mean? I've no thoughts of what comes after. Yeah, I do want another title, but right now, like with the Craig McCarthy fight, all I see is him. You know what I mean? All I see is him stopping me. You know what I mean? From achieving what I want to achieve. So for me right now, I'm just laser focused on Darren Johnson. Laser focused on the job that I have to do over here in 2 weeks' time. And I know it's a very hard job. I know he's a good fighter. We've watched him. You know what I mean? But he's very, very, very beatable. I wouldn't have taken the fight if I didn't think so. You know?
I believe there's a big crowd heading over. Obviously, Celtic, I think, left the league title that day. Me and Gaughran was saying there's going to be a lot of rowdy people there. Maybe a wee bit intoxicated with drink. I'm obviously
Yeah,
after the Celtic match.
it's been a good weekend, mate, because we have a big Celtic brigade here in Limerick, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of lads going over there for that weekend. So they're like, yeah, Graham's fighting that night, we'll go to that. You know what I mean? So it's great for me, like, you know what I mean? I mean, I always sell tickets, you know what I mean, in fights, but the fact that I'm still bringing people over to Scotland, there's a couple of people coming over just for my fight, it makes me really happy, man, because I'm 8 years of pro now this year. Like, this is my 8 years of professional fighter. I have 4 losses, you know what I mean? I'm still selling tickets, man. You know what I mean? I'm still putting bums in seats. I'm still an entertaining fighter. And like that's really, I'm really grateful for that. And I'm really grateful for the support that I have from Limerick, my sponsors. Still to this day, like it's really amazing about the manager, the fact that I have all that support still.
You're the Limerick version of Tyrone McKenna.
Well, look, I'm a fan of Tyrone McKenna, so I'll take that. That's no problem. I like Tyrone, you know. I
Um,
like that. But I think it's more like I'm just an honest, hard-working guy, you know what I mean? And I enjoy training, I enjoy fighting, and I think I've kind of shown what we can do when we work hard, when we believe in ourselves, the change that we can make in our lives when we do the stuff like that, when we go against the narrative, when we are resilient, you know what I mean? I think I've proven what we can do when you want to do that, you know what I mean? So I think that's why people support me, man. It's not for any other reason. Win, lose, or draw, they're going to support me anyway, you know what I mean? No matter what happens when I fight. But I think it's because of the attitude I have and because of the message that I carry, you know what I mean? And I've always been honest about who I am and as the person I am, you know, and I've never sugarcoated it or anything like that. And I think that's another reason why people support me, and I'm happy with that, you know.
you were buzzing obviously on Saturday night. Obviously, Eubank Ben in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Like you obviously just couldn't wait to go for fight night. Like, is this the annoying part now? Like you've one more spar left to do. You're over 2 weeks out. Is this the annoying part now? It's waiting to fight night. All the hard work's pretty much done. The final wee tapering bits of weight and things like that. You just want to fight now.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've a hard week to finish this week, then we've a hard week next week, and that's it. Then, man, a week then to just taper off and make weight. But by the way the scales are looking now, I don't think I'll have too much weight to kill myself to make the weight. Like I said, just super middleweight. I don't have to kill myself to make the weight, man. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of getting myself in a lot better shape this camp than I did last camp. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. I'm really excited about fighting, man. I'm really looking forward to getting back in the ring. You know what I mean? Everything's kind of falling into place for me, and and it's like, what can I keep doing at 38? You know what I mean? It's like, wait and see what I can keep doing at 38. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, oh, he's 38. Wait and see what I can do at 38. People are going to be talking about what I've done for years to come. You know what I mean? Didn't turn pro till I was 30, won a title at 35, won another title at 38, won another title after that. And then, I'll be happy then, you know what I mean? So
World champion at
I have a
40.
lot of, yeah. Don't say that, will you? Because my wife will actually, I reckon she would actually hit me with a hammer if she watched this interview back, which she will, and hear you say that. So I will not be fighting when I'm 40. I just want to make that clear here now, because I know she will watch this. I will not be fighting when I'm 40. Yeah, that's a fact. You know.
Because whenever you mentioned that, Graham, a memory come up. I think it was an interview we done a couple of years ago, and you're obviously saying, I think it was you put a picture up of you and her sitting on the sofa, for her watching you in the TV.
Yeah, on TV, yeah.
So this will be it. You'll be going, oh, how long when this interview? Oh, here we go, here it comes now, and she'll be giving off at you watching this back.
You say to retire before you're 40, you prick. No, I won't be. But like, look, I've had a great run. I fucking love this game. I love boxing. I love everything about it. You know what I mean? But I know mentally and physically when my time is up. I know when it is. I know what time I have in my day. I know what date I have in my head, and that's what I'm aiming for. But I have things I want to achieve before that, and that's the truth. And I know I will achieve them. You know what I mean? I know I will get there, and I know I will get what I want before I pack it in. And I'd say to everyone, I'd said to people ask me, like, what do you want to do? I said, look, I want to win this title. I want to go for another title. I want to win another title because I have my boys around the house, and especially my small fella. I know for a fact, like, his trajectory, he's going to win other titles for years to come. You know what I mean? He's very, very good. That's just the way he's going to be. He's going to win other titles. I'm not sitting in this house for the rest of my life with no fucking Irish title when he's coming in the door with a new Irish title every year and saying, like, where's yours? You know what I mean? Not a hope. So I have to win this fight in 2 weeks' time and go after an Irish title. You know what I mean? So I can have it up in the fireplace there and say, listen, every time he comes in with a new one, I have that. So fuck off. You know what I mean? So that's what's driving me on, man.
Like you've always said, inspiring your son, and obviously, for him, he's going to follow in your footsteps and be a boxer. What better way for him to obviously have? I know he's had the walkers and everything else, but for him to have, to be looking at a belt on the mantelpiece or something like that and going, I'm going to win one of them. That's his inspiration. He keeps looking at it, Like, that's what you want. Like, you have a Celtic title and things like that. British Boxing Board Celtic's similar to an Irish title, but you want the Irish title because it's Irish.
Listen, it like my young fella has the Celtic title up in his room. I know my other son is here, was full time as well. He started boxing. You know what I mean? And like, I just love the fact that my kids want to box. You know what I mean? And they want to, like, not only do they want to box, they want to be better people. They want to do their best at everything they can, and that's what I've given them. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm grateful for. The most thing I'm grateful for in my life is being a father, man. Everything else is a bonus, you know what I mean? The greatest thing I have in my life is being a father. Like, my kids are absolutely everything to me. Like, and the fact that they're all proud of me and they all look up to me, you know what I mean? That wasn't the way 10 years ago, man. That wasn't how my life was, you know what I mean? They didn't look up to me, they looked for me, you know what I mean? And now it's just completely different, man. So that's what I'm truly grateful for. And boxing has given me that and has allowed me to have that. And when I finish up, I will forever be grateful for that. Did I become a millionaire through boxing? No. Did I win a world title? No. But I have the greatest thing ever that I could ever have is a happy family and a happy life. And boxing gave me that, man. And I'm now able to give that to my kids, my boys, you know what I mean? And my small fella, my older fella just started boxing. Oh, he's coming on, he's learning, you know what I mean? He's learning, but he's only after starting, you know what I mean? So he's a couple of years to catch up to my younger fella, you know what I mean, who has been boxing since he's opened his fucking eyes, realistically, you know. So, like, I'm looking forward to watching them progress as fighters, especially my younger fella. He's really fucking good, you know. So I feel like I've given them that. I've given them that, you know. So again, I'm grateful to boxing for that, you know.
Just want to finally touch on another old fogey. Obviously, it's changed his life around. Ian Gaughran, your manager, obviously, what an incredible transformation. Like I seen him at the Paddy McCrory's show in Belfast in the Devonish. And I was looking at the hair all chopped off now as well, and I was going, he's had a midlife crisis. Like, I think he's lost what, like 12 kilo or something.
The guy is a fucking machine, man. Like, me and Ian have a very good friend outside of boxing, so we talk a lot, you know, and he texts me while he's training. The guy's training harder than fucking me, man. The guy is in phenomenal shape. He's really fucking zoned in focus, you know what I mean? He's trained really hard, like, he's got himself in film shape, but he's put in the graft. Like, I've seen the workouts he's been doing, like, they're really, really tough, like, they're professional boxing workouts, like, you know what I mean? They're really tough, so fair play to them, man, because it's not easy, like, training, training like that, when you have a family, a job, all that stuff, it is not fucking easy. It's way harder, like, you know what I mean? It's way, way harder. So massive credit to him, man. The guys after putting in a serious graft this camp.
He's
A
got
machine
abs.
here.
He's got abs and me and you don't.
Ah, listen, man. I've never had abs in my life, but I'm never going to. I'm okay with that. But the guy is ripped to the bone. Fucking in phenomenal shape, man. Fair play to
Finally,
him, because it's like not easy, like.
finally, obviously, then, where you said you're going to stop Darren Johnson, obviously, on the 17th of May. How do you see the fight playing out? Do you see it being a tough sort of like a war for a bit? Do you see it being like a Floyd Mayweather hitting, not getting hit? How do you see the fight going?
I see it being a very, very tough fight, a very, very hard fight. He's a good fighter. Haven't buried my head in the sand. You know what I mean? We don't think, oh, come off Craig McCarthy when we're going to just breeze for everyone. Like, he's a good fighter, but we are very, very confident that we can go over here and we're going to get a job done and a stoppage job done at that. Because I'm not being fucked over by judges, you know what I mean, or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm going to be or anything like that. It's not in my head. Losing's not in my head, but I'm just going to take it out of the judges' hands. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go, but I'm absolutely fucking buzzing for this fight. Like, Sean Kelly has put me through an unbelievable camp. This camp, unbelievable. We've done serious work, man. We still have a bit more work to go, but we are ready, man. I'm ready for whatever he brings to the table. I'm ready for it. Stand back boxing match. I'm ready. If you want to stand in the center of the ring and have it out with me, I am fucking ready. You know what I mean? And I will prove that last year was just a shit year for me. And this is going to be completely different. You know what I mean? I promise this is going to be the best version of me. I was good last time. I'm going to be brilliant this time.
Fantastic. Well, look, Graham, obviously it's great to get a good catch up. Obviously, I know we speak most days on Instagram and stuff like that, but obviously it's great to get you on for another interview ahead of your fight. Hopefully the
Thank you, my friend.
next week or so goes well. Hopefully you take it easy in Kean and sparring next week.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and obviously we wish you all the very best of luck for the 17th of May in Glasgow.
Thank you very much, my friend. Really appreciate it.
Cheers, Graham. Speak to you soon.
Thanks, bud.
Care. Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye, bud.